Hello dear viewers and welcome to English News Broadcast. I am Meloba Mikael. These are the top stories for today. Seven patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Meeting on implementation of development programs in ASEP. Burkina Faso, 47 dead in new jihadist attack. U.S. forces fired tear gas in Afghanistan conflict. Seven patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers in Gashbarka and central regions. Out of these, 5 patients are from quarantine centers in Girmaika 3 and Adibara 2, Gashbarka region. 2 patients are from quarantine centers in Asmara Central region. On the other hand, 5 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the northern Red Sea 4 and Central 1 regions have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 6,551, while the number of deaths stands at 37. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,618. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 19 August 2021. Ambassador Mahmoud Said Mantai, governor of the Southern Red Sea region, conducted a meeting on 18 August in the port of city of Asab with heads of the offline ministries and PFDJ focusing on the implementation of development programs in the coming 3 months, indicating that huge investment had been made to ensure social justice and especially to expand educational opportunity. Ambassador Mahmoud Said said that students' school enrollment, and especially that of females, has not been as expected to be. In that regard, Ambassador Mahmoud Said called on parents, committees, students and teachers to reinforce participation in the effort to encourage school-aged children go to school and avoid students' school dropouts, pointing out that the rich culture in the region in preserving natural resources is significantly contributing in the development of forests and wildlife. Ambassador Mahmoud Said called on the public to reinforce participation in the greening campaign. Ambassador Mahmoud Said also called for reinforced participation of the public in concerned institutions in the successful implementation of the elections of area administrators and managing directors as well as village coordinators that is set to be held in the first quarter of 2022. The participants on their part conducted extensive discussion on the issues raised at the meeting and adopted various recommendations. Livestock vaccination was conducted from 28 July to 6 August at the 16 administrative areas of Orona subzone. According to report at the program, 32,000 livestock have been vaccinated against various animal diseases. Veterinarian Mebrahtom Mezgebe said that the vaccination program that was conducted on 17 centers has been successful with strong participation of the farmers and administrations, and more effort should be conducted to further control the prevalence of animal disease, indicating that medicines outside the preservation of professionals are being administered on animals. Mr. Mebrahtom called on farmers to avoid the practice and consult professionals for proper animal medication. And I'll be back with the international news after a short break. Welcome back. U.S. forces fired tear gas near Kabul airport last night to disperse crowds of Afghans trying to flee Taliban rule. The scenes at Kabul airport this week have focused the world's attention on whether outside countries have a duty to accept Afghans who are fleeing because of fear of persecution. Since the Taliban entered Kabul over the weekend, scenes of chaos have unfolded as thousands seek to leave, fearing a return to the austere interpretation of Islamic law imposed during the previous Taliban rule that ended 20 years ago. As the airlift of Western citizens in Afghanistan who worked for foreign governments sought to ramp up, Biden said U.S. forces would remain until the evacuation of Americans was finished, even if that meant staying past the August 31 U.S. deadline for complete withdrawal. The Burkinabé government said that 47 people, including 30 civilians, 14 soldiers, and 3 army auxiliaries, were killed yesterday in an attack by suspected jihadists on a military convoy escorting civilians in northern Burkina Faso. The three-border area is the region most affected by the violence. Thousands of civilians and soldiers have been killed there. According to the government, the attack, which also left 19 people wounded, took place while the security forces and the VDP were on a mission to secure civilians leaving for Arbinda. This attack is the third in a series that has left more than a dozen dead in 2 weeks against soldiers engaged in the anti-jihadist struggle in the north and northwest of Burkina Faso. And now I'll remind you the top stories. Seven patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 tests carried out today. Meeting on implementation of development programs in ASEP. Burkina Faso 47 dead in new jihadist attack. U.S. forces fire tear gas in Afghanistan conflict. That was all for today's news. Thank you for watching. Good night.